There's a reason your fuel bill keeps climbing, and it's not just rising gas prices. Something happens at the pump that quietly drains drivers of over $2 billion a year, and most people never realize it. Today, we're revealing 15 fuel-saving secrets gas stations hope you never discover. And the fifth one alone can save you $1,000 or more every year without spending a single dollar. Stay locked in, because what's coming will completely change the way you fill your tank. Secret 15. The pump speed trick. When you pull up to the pump and squeeze the handle all the way down, it feels like the quickest way to get back on the road, but it quietly drains your wallet. Pumping at maximum speed creates turbulence inside the nozzle, whipping the fuel into tiny vapor pockets. And here's the part gas stations never mention. Pumps measure flow, not actual usable fuel mass. So every time vapor gets counted as liquid, you're paying for fuel that never makes it into your tank. Those bubbles evaporate long before they settle, yet the meter still charges you for them. Fuel meter tests show that fast pumping can reduce the real fuel delivered by 2 to 6%, depending on pump age and temperature, equal to losing an entire tank every year without noticing. But slowing down the pump changes everything. A gentle flow keeps fuel cooler, denser, and more stable. Vapor pockets shrink, the meter becomes more accurate, and you get closer to what you're actually paying for. NIST calibration technicians confirm that slower dispensing consistently provides the most precise readings due to reduced aeration. And it only adds about 20 to 30 seconds to your fill-up. Gas stations will never warn you about this because fast pumping means quick turnover and higher profit. But for everyday drivers and mechanics, it's one of the simplest ways to save money instantly. And if you think losing fuel at the pump is bad, wait until you hear about the premium upgrade millions of drivers fall for every single day. Secret 14. The premium fuel trap. Premium fuel sounds like an upgrade. Stronger, cleaner, more powerful. But for most drivers, it's one of the most expensive and unnecessary mistakes at the pump. Gas stations love when you choose premium because the profit margin on high-octane fuel can be 20 to 30% higher than regular. But here's the truth. If your car isn't specifically designed for premium, you're burning money, literally. Octane doesn't mean better fuel. It measures resistance to knock, not engine cleanliness or power. And according to the American Automobile Association, nearly 16.5 million drivers use premium in vehicles that don't require it, wasting more than $2 billion every year. Engines built for regular gasoline are tuned for a certain combustion pattern. Adding premium doesn't make them stronger. It actually slows combustion slightly, offering zero performance gains and absolutely no MPG improvement. In fact, pouring premium into a regular engine can make it run less efficiently because the burn characteristics no longer match what the ECU is programmed for. No extra power, no better mileage, no cleaner internals, just a higher bill. Premium should only be used when the manufacturer requires it, not when you feel extra careful. And if you think paying for the wrong fuel grade is costly, the next one hits you before the gas even reaches your tank, because a delivery truck can contaminate your fuel in seconds. Secret 13. The fuel delivery truck trap. If you've ever pulled into a station and seen a massive tanker truck parked beside the pumps, here's the truth. You should drive away immediately. Most drivers don't realize this, but the moment a delivery truck is filling the underground tanks, the fuel you buy becomes some of the dirtiest, least efficient gasoline you'll ever put in your car. Here's why. Underground tanks store thousands of gallons of fuel, and over time, sediment settles at the bottom. Rust, dirt, ethanol residue, even microscopic metal flakes. When the tanker pumps in fresh fuel, it churns all that debris violently. According to petroleum engineers, the agitation can increase tank sediment levels by up to 400% for several hours. And if you fill up during that window, that contaminated mixture goes straight into your tank, reducing fuel quality and hurting MPG. Dirty fuel forces your engine to burn less efficiently, making your car run richer and decreasing mileage. In some vehicles, especially older ones, it can even clog injectors or stress the fuel pump. You end up paying full price for fuel that delivers less power and causes more wear. Gas stations won't warn you. They want the line moving. But if protecting your engine and saving MPG matters, you should always avoid filling up when the tanker is present. And next, we tackle a myth almost every driver believes. One that sounds smart but offers zero savings, with a hidden truth gas stations stay silent about. Secret 12. The morning fuel myth. You've probably heard the old advice. Fill up early in the morning when the fuel is cooler. It's one of the most common fuel-saving myths, and gas stations benefit every time people misunderstand how it works. The truth is, modern underground tanks hold fuel at a stable temperature year-round. Whether it's 6 a.m. or 6 p.m., the gasoline sitting 10 feet below ground only fluctuates by 1 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit, nowhere near enough to give you a measurable savings. So, no morning fuel doesn't magically give you more gas per gallon. But here's the part gas stations don't want you to know. While temperature barely changes throughout the day, seasonal fuel blends do. In summer, fuel is formulated with lower volatility to prevent evaporation. In winter, it's blended to ignite more easily. But that winter blend contains less energy per gallon, causing a natural 1 to 3 miles per gallon drop for most drivers. So while the morning myth is mostly false, the energy difference between seasonal blends is very real. And gas stations never mention it because it exposes why your mileage mysteriously rises and falls every few months. Understanding this puts you ahead of the average driver. And if you think the morning myth is misleading, wait until you learn how some pumps quietly short you even when you do everything right, without breaking a single rule. Secret 11. The pump calibration trap. This one is so subtle that even experienced drivers miss it. But it quietly steals fuel from millions of people every single day. Gas pumps don't stay perfectly accurate forever. Over time, the internal meters drift, hoses wear out, and valves loosen. And here's the uncomfortable truth. A pump that underdispenses fuel by even 1% can legally operate until its next inspection, which may be months away. According to state weights and measures audits, nearly 6 to 10% of pumps fail accuracy tests each year, and the majority of those failures short the customer, not the station. In some states, inspectors have found pumps delivering up to 13 ounces less per gallon. That's almost a full cup of fuel missing, yet you're still paying for it. Older pumps and low-traffic stations are the worst offenders because their components wear more slowly and go unchecked longer. Stations also know that most people never look at the inspection sticker, so pumps can run imprecise for extended periods without complaints. The best way to protect yourself? Avoid pumps with faded, expired, or missing inspection stickers, and stay away from stations where the pumps look old, dirty, or poorly maintained. If this is opening your eyes, hit the like button so YouTube knows this is the kind of real money-saving content drivers actually need. And stay locked in. We're only halfway through the tricks gas stations hope you never figure out. Secret 10. The hidden air filter connection. Most drivers think of the air filter as a small, cheap part with almost no impact on fuel economy. But that's exactly why gas stations never talk about it. A clogged air filter forces your engine to work harder, burning more fuel just to maintain normal power. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, a severely dirty air filter can drop fuel economy by up to 10%, especially in older vehicles that rely heavily on airflow for proper combustion. Here's the real problem. Many drivers go 20,000 to 30,000 miles without checking their filter, even though dust, pollen, and road debris accumulate much faster in city and highway traffic. When airflow is restricted, your engine enriches the fuel mixture to compensate. That means more fuel, less mileage, and unnecessary strain on the spark plugs, O2 sensors, and catalytic converter. The worst part? Gas stations benefit from this because every mile you drive with a choked filter burns more fuel than your engine actually needs. They'll happily sell you more gas, but never remind you to check the part that could save you money. The fix takes less than a minute. Pull it out, hold it to the sun, and if you can't see light through it, replace it. And next, we're moving to a secret that hides right on your tires, yet affects your MPG more than any fuel additive ever sold. Secret 9. The tire pressure truth. If you want an instant boost in fuel economy, forget additives. Start with your tires. Underinflated tires are one of the biggest, most common MPG killers on the road, and gas stations absolutely love it because it forces you to burn more fuel. Underinflated tires can reduce fuel economy by up to 3%, and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration found that only 19% of drivers keep their tires at the correct pressure. Here's where the real secret comes in. The number on your driver's doorframe isn't designed for fuel efficiency. It's based on comfort and stability for a fully loaded vehicle. 5 passengers, cargo, and luggage. Most people drive alone or with 1 passenger, meaning your ideal pressure is often a few PSI higher than the door jam recommendation. That slight increase reduces rolling resistance, improves tire wear, and boosts MPG instantly. Meanwhile, low pressure forces your engine to work harder, dragging the car across more surface area. You burn more fuel without realizing why. Check your tires monthly, especially during temperature changes. And now, we're moving to a secret hiding inside your driving habits. One that silently destroys MPG faster than low tire pressure ever could. Secret 8. The short trip fuel killer. If your daily driving includes quick hops to the store, school, or work, you're losing more fuel than you think. Short trips are one of the biggest, most overlooked MPG killers, and gas stations quietly profit from it. The truth is simple. Your engine is least efficient when it's cold. Until it reaches proper operating temperature, usually 190 to 220 degrees Fahrenheit, the ECU enriches the fuel mixture, burning more gasoline to keep the engine running smoothly. According to the EPA, short trips can increase fuel consumption by up to 30%, especially in colder weather. That's why 2 identical cars can have dramatically different mileage depending on how often they warm up. The catalytic converter also needs heat to function properly, so until it's hot, emissions rise and efficiency drops even further. Drivers who make several 1 to 3 mile trips a day burn far more fuel than drivers who take longer, steady drives. Gas stations love this pattern. They know you'll be back sooner. If you can combine errands or plan routes to reduce cold starts, your MPG will climb instantly. And now, the next secret targets something hiding right in your trunk, adding weight you don't even realize you're paying for every time you drive. Secret 7. The hidden weight penalty. Most drivers have no idea their car is hauling extra weight every single day. Weight that silently eats into fuel economy. Even small increases matter. Just 100 pounds of added load can drop MPG by 1 to 2%. And the heavier your vehicle, the harder your engine has to work to keep it moving. The sneaky part is how easily this extra weight builds up. Old tools, work equipment, sports gear, baby strollers, random boxes. Most of it sits in the trunk for months without being touched. Roof racks and cargo boxes are even worse. When left on, they add both weight and wind resistance, cutting fuel efficiency by up to 10 to 15%, even when completely empty. Gas stations never mention this because a lighter car means fewer fill-ups. But clearing out unnecessary items is one of the fastest ways to improve mileage without spending a single dollar. Take a few minutes to empty the trunk, remove unused accessories, and ditch the rooftop hardware you're not using. And next, we dive into a secret hiding inside your engine. One that increases fuel burn even faster than excess weight. Secret 6. The wrong oil viscosity trap. Most drivers think oil is just oil, but the viscosity you choose has a massive impact on fuel economy. If your engine is running oil that's too thick, it creates extra internal drag. Your crankshaft, camshafts, and bearings have to push through heavier resistance, forcing the engine to burn more fuel just to maintain normal operation. Laboratory testing on modern engines shows that using a thicker than recommended oil can drop fuel economy by 2 to 5%. And in cold weather, the loss can be even higher. That's because thick oil doesn't circulate quickly during warm-up, keeping friction levels high and delaying the engine's ability to reach peak efficiency. On the other hand, using oil that's too thin can increase wear, not just MPG loss, because the protective film breaks down under high load and temperature. That's why every manufacturer specifies a viscosity based on engine tolerances, climate, and efficiency standards. Stick to the recommended grade, and if you live in hotter or colder climates, choose the version your manual lists for those conditions. The right oil frees up power, improves MPG, and protects your engine for the long haul. If you're learning something new with every secret, make sure you subscribe so you never miss these hidden car-saving tips. And trust me, the final 5 secrets are the ones gas stations fear the most. Keep watching. Secret 5. The gas cap leak. Most drivers never think about their gas cap, yet it's one of the biggest hidden reasons fuel economy drops. A loose, cracked, or worn gas cap allows fuel vapors to escape, and your evaporative emission system must compensate by richening the fuel mixture. Even a minor leak can trigger the EVAP monitor to run more often, increasing fuel consumption by up to 2 to 3%. What makes this worse is how common it is. Millions of cars trigger the check fuel cap or EVAP leak warning every year, and in many cases, the culprit is just a $10 cap that's not sealing correctly. When vapors escape, your system loses pressure, forcing the ECU to adjust fuel trims to maintain balance. A simple twist until it clicks, or replacing a worn gasket, can instantly restore efficiency. And next, we move to a secret hiding in plain sight. Your climate control decisions are draining more fuel than you think. Secret 4. The AC versus Windows MPG battle. You've heard the myth, turn off the AC to save gas. But the truth is more complicated. At low speeds, city driving, parking lots, neighborhoods, running the AC can reduce fuel economy by up to 10% because the compressor loads the engine. But once you hit highway speeds, rolling down the windows creates aerodynamic drag that can cost up to 8 to 15% MPG, depending on the vehicle's shape. So what's the real answer? Use AC at highway speeds, windows at low speeds. That balance minimizes engine load and drag, giving you the best mileage in both conditions. Gas stations won't tell you this nuance. They prefer the old AC wastes fuel myth because confused drivers waste more gas overall. But now that you understand how airflow and drag really work, your mileage goes up instantly. And speaking of airflow, the next secret involves something even smaller. Tiny sensors that quietly ruin fuel economy when they fail. Secret 3. The sensor sabotage. Modern engines depend on sensors to calculate fuel trims, and even minor sensor drift can wreck your MPG. A failing oxygen sensor, for example, can cause the engine to run rich, dropping fuel economy by up to 15 to 20% without triggering a check engine light immediately. A dirty mass airflow (MAF) sensor can skew readings enough to force the ECU to dump more fuel than needed, costing you money on every trip. The problem is that these issues happen slowly. Your MPG drops over months, so most drivers don't notice. Gas stations profit because a richer mixture means more frequent fill-ups. A simple MAF cleaning or replacing a lazy O2 sensor can restore MPG instantly. And next, we look at a subtle, often ignored habit, idling, that wastes more fuel than most people realize. Secret 2. The idling trap. Sitting still with the engine running feels harmless, especially during quick stops or warm-ups, but idling wastes fuel at a shocking rate. A typical engine burns 0.3 to 0.6 gallons per hour while idling, depending on size. That means just 10 minutes a day can waste more than 30 gallons of fuel per year, with 0 miles traveled. Modern engines warm up best by driving gently, not idling. And long idle periods trigger richer fuel trims because the engine isn't under load, further decreasing economy. Many delivery and rideshare drivers lose hundreds of dollars a year to unnecessary idling without realizing it. Turning off the engine for stops longer than 30 seconds saves more fuel than keeping it running. And next, we finish with one of the most overlooked secrets, something that seems harmless but sends your MPG in the wrong direction every time. Secret 1. The speed sweet spot. Most cars have a speed range where fuel economy peaks, and going beyond it wastes fuel faster than drivers realize. For most vehicles, the sweet spot is 45 to 60 miles per hour, Once you exceed that range, aerodynamic drag increases exponentially. At 70 miles per hour, your car can lose up to 15% MPG. And at 80 miles per hour, that penalty can reach 25% or more. It's not the engine, it's the air. Drag multiplies as speed increases, forcing your engine to work dramatically harder. Even powerful, fuel-efficient cars suffer once they cross that threshold. Driving just 5 to 10 miles per hour slower on the highway can save entire gallons over long trips. Gas stations won't mention it because higher speeds burn more fuel and bring you back to the pump faster. And there you have it, 15 fuel-saving secrets gas stations hoped you to never learn. If even one helped you, imagine the savings when you use all of them together. Before you go, hit like, subscribe, and comment which secret shocked you the most. And for even more savings, check out my video on reset tricks that fix 95% of hidden car problems.